It was a watershed moment in the fight for LGBTQ+ rights in Connecticut. A group of lesbians and gay men unfurled banners from the gallery of the House chamber in the state capitol, while then Governor Bill O'Neill was giving a speech to the General Assembly.
The men did a banner that said their votes are killing us, and they threw the banner over. And they had a list of all the people who had voted against us. Anyway, then there was a second banner, which was just the women. And it was Kathleen Linares and Pat Needham and myself who threw the banner. We said we promised that we would be there every time there was some vote.
For those there, it was a moment to remember.
There was people cheering.
There was a lot of support.
And that kind of, I think, action is so empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you know, there were people who were on our side who were angry at us, like, how dare you? And the answer at the time was, you know, we dare, because it's been too long and people have chickened out and people have failed to support us, and now we're angry and we're strong.
Around the same time, State Representative Joe Graybars from Bridgeport came out as gay and made national headlines.
I was one of the first elected officials in the country to come out voluntarily. It was a time of a rise in hate, similar to the time that we're living in now. You saw hate politicians in North Carolina and Louisiana spewing anti-gay, anti-HIV rhetoric, and I felt like I needed to speak out louder, and in order to do that, I needed to show everyone who I was, that I couldn't do it from the shadow of being in the closet.
It was the era of ACT UP, with demonstrations at the FDA and in the streets of New York City, the same time others were inside the institutions, also working for change.
And then the people who throw banners and do civil disobedience make the insiders look very reasonable.
Through the efforts of many people, Connecticut now has many protections for its LGBTQ+ residents. But there are people and organizations still fighting, like Equality Connecticut.
So we don't take a single issue focus. You know, we're not like in past movements, there was big pushes on gay marriage and marriage equality. There have been pushes in healthcare. We kind of take the perspective that as long as an issue affects queer people in the state of Connecticut, then it's our issue to look at and try to handle as best we can.
Those on the front line clearly see the struggle every day.
When you see the Supreme Court of the United States and the attitude that they've taken to individual rights, particularly the right to privacy, which is the basis of almost all civil rights laws for almost all groups in the United States, being so severely under attack by the Supreme Court, I'm praying and hoping that Connecticut can hold on. And you know what? I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, and I'm going to fight like hell to make sure that it does.
Sarah Sanchez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.